Alright, today, brothers and sisters, we're going to be talking about the Cheetah Girls. This is also a part of some of the programming that I used to have, which was MK Beta Kitten programming. And I thank the Lord for delivering me from this. I ask that all the girls and young females who viewed and view still this movie will not be affected by the programming that was put in here to harm them. And even the book series that existed before the movie that's still around, you can buy, that they won't be affected by that either. Because this is an entire buffet of programming for MK Beta Sex Kitten programming to get you to not know why you're having thoughts that are not of you and are definitely not of God. And this is going to be a continuation of videos done about Disney, as I've done one before, and I believe it was the Lizzie McGuire video. And this trailer is going to be very telling, brothers and sisters. I'm not going to sit through the whole movie and read the script as I've pondered before, because I read scripts from time to time and as much as I can handle, which is not as much as I thought. Knowing that it's a ritual and then knowing that it affected so many people, it's hard to make it through reading a script. But I'd also like to do that in the future as well. But this trailer is not just going to be about how they became the Cheetah Girls and how it was supposed to be about a talent show and how they have the opportunity to move up and get a record deal if they win the competition. But I thought it was supposed to be about friendship and love, this brainwashing, and I thought it was supposed to be about loyalty and all these sorts of things that are good they are good tenets of they're good things to tell youth, good teachings, right? But there was an underbelly of evil in this evil film that I did not know about, which is the component of selling your soul. That's really what this movie was about, getting kids to inch closer to them if they were interested in the music industry, which a lot of the young girls like to sing. But that was really what they were hinting at, and they put the truth in their trailers. And I wanted to also add the people who do the overhead voices for the trailers, like how they had for all those tapes, if you were a child in the 2000s or then really the past 40 years since they started to come out with all the children's programming heavily. 80s, 90s, 2000s, whenever they started to release all these tapes and things out of the Disney vault. And the guy who would do the overhead voices for all the trailers on the tapes, that voice always struck me as quite foreboding and odd. And now it gets even worse with the Disney Channel original movie trailers, because this guy sounds like he's not even human, the guy talking over the trailer. And that might be really intense to think about, especially if this is something that you guys are new to, the fact of how more spiritual the world is than physical. It's more invisible than visible. The things you can't see is what's really controlling things behind the scene. It makes me bow my head in shame at how many years of denial I was in about some of these matters that God was trying to show me a long time. And now, when I did come into the truth, there was no coming back. And I thank the Most High for doing that for me in Jesus' name. And so, here we go. Oh my goodness, here we go.
Meet the Cheetah Girls.
The talent shows auditions are tomorrow.
I wanted to talk about how it looks like this person received some sort of spirit here, how they had their head tilted back and something entered their body. I'm going to play it again.
Auditions are tomorrow.
They just received some sort of either Python or Leviathan spirit here.
The Cheetah Girls are first in line to win this thing.
Your dreams are very important to us.
Knowing what just happened and they received either a Leviathan or Python spirit. This is the lies that the devil would tell through other people to help them along in the process of selling out. You're very important to us.
But here's my plan.
But here's my plan. This is not them talking here. And you're going to notice they're going to divert and talk about something completely different because it's a snake. It's a fork-tongued.
That you focus on real life and real chores real soon.
Because see how they just diverted? They were talking about something completely different. Talking about, you know, we have plans for you and this and that. And then all of a sudden talking about, well, chores and this, that, and the other. That had nothing to do with what they were saying before because it's a fork-tongued snake that entered them. They showed them receiving and openly accepting and receiving a spirit into their body. That person that played the part of their mother, the mother of the main character played by Raven, is a real life recruiter for the music industry. They had them in the movie. They were real life. Then they're an intellectual as well because they went to numerous good schools for music. So it's not like this was before Raven signed their second record deal. They had the rap career when they were a little kid. Obviously they're a boy. They were raised as a girl though. And they were about to sign again at this time because they were about to release their first record under Walt Disney Records. So it kind of went in alignment with that record deal and their first album under that record label. And the other Cheetah girls, right, okay, no, they were also signed to record labels at the time, all of them. So this was almost like one of those little torture techniques, one of those little torture things that they put them through, talking about how they really got to where they are.
Friends help friends make their
Gripping their hat, throwing up the 666.
dreams come true.
They were just trying to win their school talent show. Then
looking for the next big thing. And I think that thing might just have spots. Here's my checklist. Number 1, record a bump and demo.
That's one.
Number 2, make millions.
They skipped a step. That's number 2, but in between there's something else. In between making the bumping beat and then making millions, there's a part they left out in between there where you have to sign the contract in blood. They left that part out. They left that part out, but they're about to show even that here. But they're not about to say, they're about to show what they have to do to get these millions after they make the bumping demo. They left out a step. This is when they find out there's more. There's more than 1 or 2 steps. The look on their face, it says a lot. They didn't know, no one told them until they got in that room. They were going to have to do more. And they were going to have to transform, and they were going to have to leave their old self behind. There's so many movies that talk about this. So many. So many. And it's real. Like the song they sang in one of their later records, because I used to listen to this person's music because that's the age range it was aimed at, the age range I was at, and a lot of people were at the time. Grazing in the Grass, where they say, so real, so real, so real, so real. It's real. Can you dig it? That's real. It is very real.
Our engineering department wants to create whole.
This is when they offer them the money. This is a bribe tactic when they present them the money, but they don't tell them what they're going to have to do to get it. That's the only thing they left out. But they're implying it here because they present them with the whole world. Tell them they can have the whole entire world, but you're going to have to sacrifice a part of yourself. And beyond that, you're going to have to complete other sacrifices. But they don't put all of that in here. They divert. They divert like a snake would. Double, two-faced, double split tongue.
Whole new identities.
I'm sorry. We don't.
Always have to cover up the eye in some sweeping way.
Lip sync.
Many of you know about the panda eyes. Panda representation, along with they're in high school. They're supposed to be playing girls in high school, meaning the underage children. Panda eyes just means their eyes, their vessels under their eyes burst. They have dark circles around their eyes from no sleep, and their veins under their eyes burst from doing things they should not have done with a child.
Don't worry, we'll teach you.
We'll teach you. And I wanted to say that usually it's a Jewish, aka not a real Jew, running the record label. I don't know if you could tell up until now he was, but I wanted to mention they shot this in Manhattan as well. 2 years after 9/11? It's very soon. They went back so soon. And the movie Get a Clue, starring Lindsay Lohan, that came out 2 years before this, and it went straight to theaters. It wasn't even on Disney Channel. But it later was. But it was straight out in the movie theater, Get a Clue. That was 2001. They shot it up through, I believe, July 2001. How could it be that they would be there right before it happened? But anyway, they knew, and they knew how to skirt around it. So, but anyway, continuing the trailer. And these people might be, I want to mention that these people are shape-shifting like crazy, but I'm not even pointing this out. These people have been shape-shifting this entire time. Everybody, the whole video. But I'm not even pointing that part out. I could, really quickly. I could point it out what I saw here. Their hand turns black, and it's a huge claw. Stuff like this, distortion, their spirit body coming out, eyes, nose, can barely make out the mouth. That's not their face. That's not their face. This is a spiritual manifestation, but I definitely don't want to, I don't want to point that out too much because it's very disturbing. These people are not actually people. They're, they've done so much. They look like they're hybrids, hybrid species with a part people, or just full-on demons in physical human bodies or whatever manifesting. But anyway, very disturbing stuff. Easy to see in standard definition back then. Eyes, nose, mouth, slanted mouth, nostrils, nose, eyes, eyebrows.
Their dreams meant everything to them.
We can't
Do you hear how disturbing his voice is and how demonic it sounds?
change the cheetah girl.
Now they have to prove it.
It's not our music. It's not your song, so you want to walk. You're not the boss of everything.
And like in a lot of these groups in music, when they're trying to figure out whether they want to make the move to sign the contract, it's usually the other way around, where the main group member is trying to convince the other ones to get in there. Usually one person, like in the movie that I talked about, I mentioned in a video a long time ago. Or no, I even did a video about the end credits called American Satan, and they talked about how it only takes one group member to sell out the whole band, if one person signing in blood, and then the whole group, as long as they take the oath and they're in there and they're in with it, and they're in. But they're showing, I said that they're showing half-truth in this trailer. They didn't talk about what's next after they sign. Them turning against each other, how they're arguing here, is an example of how demons working through people in such a situation, like in groups, would try to turn them against one another, which is why a lot of bands break up, so that when one of them is sacrificed, they don't lament as much because they weren't getting along, that kind of thing. They had some resentment or some kind of unforgiveness, so that when somebody dies, which a lot of times someone does die in one of these girl band, boy bands, or groups, really, then they don't have as much remorse. So they even put that in here.
You guys believe in what we have?
The newest Disney Channel original movie.
It's not worth losing a friendship over.
Could we be friends again?
Welcome to the world of a true artist.
I wanted to say that in this movie, since their friends couldn't convince them to sign, the demons are working through this boy in their life to help to get them to sign. And it would move into the next movie, the next Cheetah Girls. And it would be that same tactic that would get them to go further in their music career. And he used a programming term Welcome to the world. That feels like a programming term to me. Welcome to the world. Because what does that mean? Like, it feels like a trigger word. Trigger phrase rather. I could be wrong. It just struck me as that. And they're wearing pentagram earrings too. The whole movie. No matter what outfit. The whole movie.
Starring Raven from that.
Oh yeah, I wanted to point out the hand sign. They did a really quick here. They're doing a version of the diamond. As you can see here, their spiritual body is not as nice as how they make them appear in the physical. See, sharp teeth, eyes, distortion, their whole skin turned a different color. Their eyes are like droopy. Their chin is like droopy. Their face is like it looks like it's melting. One eye, one black eye, the other one's completely gone away. It's just one eye here. The other one's just gone away. But I wanted to point out they're doing the diamond. They did it really fast, so you don't see.
From That's So Raven, Sabrina Bryan, and 3LW's Keely Williams and Adrian Bailon.
Did they really just say bail in the trailer for kids? And I just got done talking about how they have to sacrifice somebody eventually in their group, and I mean, when I think about all the major groups that come to mind, like NSYNC, Destiny's Child, these kind of Backstreet Boys, Boys to Men, Belle Biv DeVoe, I mean, like, there's all these groups, like, in duos and things. Sometimes somebody doesn't die. Milli Vanilli, though, one of them did die. A lot of the rock bands, one of them does die. I think another way they do it is they replace them. That's another way, I think. But the most prominent example of when they actually die is in a lot of rock bands, a lot of rock groups. And then sometimes I think they're replaced with clones. It's a possibility, because who's going to notice? I really started to think about this logically, because I was like in denial. I told you I was in denial in another video for a long time about the cloning thing. It's so easy to do. I noticed people were right about Paul McCartney. That's not after what? No, he's gone. That's not him on the stage anymore. It's so easy to send somebody up there who would look really similar and has all the same, who can emulate and simulate the same talents and act the same way. They have smoke and mirrors and lights everywhere. Bred in circuses, people are cheering. They're in the dark and they have lights blazing down on them. It could be easily pulled off. Have a stand-in. Like I said, the movie Dave with Kevin Kline. They have him stand in for the president. They have all kind of stand-ins, clones, lookalikes. Sometimes they say they're twins and they're really clones, like how I thought about lately. Cole and Dylan Sprouse. They could be clones. Because I just saw that one of them, who now has black hair, I think it's Cole Sprouse, looks like one of the members of New Kids on the Block in the earliest days of their career, with black hair. I don't know any of their names except for Donnie, but who was Marky Mark's brother, Mark Wahlberg. But he looks just like. So I'm starting to think they're not twins. Sometimes when they have twins out there, they're clones. But I just wanted to give a little bit more context of what's going on in this trailer. But it's almost over. So, but just know that this movie, if you ever saw it, or if your kid ever saw it, or you watched it with them, it wasn't what it seemed at all. And I remember looking for this years ago and I couldn't find it, so someone uploaded this last year. I haven't looked up this stuff for a minute, and they finally uploaded it. And I wasn't looking for this specifically, I just eventually going through other Raven videos and things from the 90s and 2000s, I found this, so excuse me. So it's the last bit of the trailer.
You're a cheetah girl because of who you are and what's in your heart.
The Cheetah Girls. Opening Friday at 8/7 Central. Only on Disney Channel.
Yeah, that's the end of that. None of them really struck me as all that masculine, which is so interesting, except for, I believe their name was Dorinda? I don't even know what their names were anymore. But the one here on the far right, this is the only one that screamed male. But Raven and Adrian and I don't know what this person's name is that's blonde. They look really passing, except for this huge skull. They really look really passing, which is so strange, which is why it was so hard to see for so long. But I just wanted to put this out there. You know, this is what I was talking about. This is what I've been talking about for a minute now. This problem with children being groomed. This movie was a grooming tool in many ways. So, but yeah, I had to do this. I had to get this off of my conscience, because I watched this a ton. Like, when I say a ton, I mean I probably 100 more times. I was very obsessed with the Cheetah Girls, and I did want all the clothes. And I never got any, but like one pajama set, and I'm really happy that my mom never bought anything like this for me that was like with a bunch of cheetah print on it. I can only think of like 2 outfits through all of childhood where I had cheetah print on, and I'm just really glad that God would help my mom in that way, by not having me like covered in cheetah print all day, every day. Like, I can only remember one time in kindergarten where I had a pink cheetah outfit, like a pink cheetah like pink shirt with cheetah print, and then all the way until like 6th grade until I would wear cheetah print again. And the last thing I ever owned that had cheetah print was a scarf. I had a cheetah print scarf, and I threw it away, and it was before I even woke up, so I thank God for that. That's 2 clothing items and just a scarf, so I wasn't like adorned in this stuff, but I wanted to be. Once you start to cover yourself in these items, I think it does something to you spiritually, because of what it's meant to do and why they create this programming. It's not on accident. It's very subtle, very devilish, very like the subtlest beast of the field, which is why I called out when that person was receiving the Python or Leviathan spirit, because that's really what's behind it. The snake was the most subtle beast in the field. Yeah, that's what I wanted to put out there in this video. MK Ultra Beta 6 Kitten programming. So I thank you guys for watching, and I hope that you have a blessed day.